The Blmdemic. Look what we did. Something that was much worse than the cold season that we had a couple years ago. And we gave it a name, but I don't want to say what it is because when you are a small person like me and you use the word, they take your video down. If you're famous and you get a lot of hits and a lot of people watch your videos, you can say whatever you want. But if you're a little person like me, YouTube will take you down because you said the word. So I cannot say what it is, but it ends in demic. But the Blmdemic is far worse and has done far more damage than the colddemic did. Because the Blmdemic is actually real, and it's been something that's been causing us problems for a long time. Yeah, and it's funny how, people still go to Target, even though Target supports the Blmdemic. People still buy products from Lamb Weston, even though Lamb Weston supports the Blmdemic. Because I had to quit working at Lamb Weston because they supported the rioting that went on in Seattle. And I had made a comment about it, and I just about got fired for it. Because I called those rioters monkeys. So, yeah, if you buy products from Lamb Weston, you probably should stop because they support the Blmdemic. If you go to Disney, you purchase any Disney products, you go to Disney, you watch their streaming services, then you support the Blmdemic. You like the fact that this country is getting destroyed because of racism that the Blmdemic has created. If you sit in a church house and it happens to be Christian, and yet you still want to buy stuff that you can get from Disney and partake of their entertainment, then what are you doing? You're supporting what you don't believe in. Because a pure Christian believes that there's only two sexes. There's a male and female, and there isn't any other. It's in the Bible. It's written that way. You can have homosexuality, right? But then what happens if you are a homosexual, right? The Bible talks about that. So there's a lot of people out there that think they're righteous and that they're better than somebody else because they believe in a scripture that they don't even support. And yet they'll go and turn around and they'll go down to Disney World or Disneyland and give them money and watch their Hulu. And the Hulu has some of the worst commercials I have ever seen that are anti-family and anti-wholesome. Yeah, you got to get your priorities straight. You say one thing and yet you act another way. And then the thing is, what happened to free speech in this country? If you say a word and it's considered offensive, you're now a criminal. What is wrong with us? Grow some skin, right? And the thing is I don't get as angry as I used to because I've lost hope. It's hard for me to even make this video because we're pathetically worthless. We're so ready to be wiped off the planet because most of us are absolutely dog shit and don't deserve to be saved. And it's funny how some of these people like to push back. Like there's this talking head on YouTube named JP, and I've bought a few of his t-shirts during the colddemic. And I liked how he stood up against it, but the problem is he's still a pro-war guy, and he's fallen into this idea that Ukraine needs to be saved, and he's ignorant. He doesn't realize that he's just beating the drum of the Republican mantra, and Republicans are no better than Democrats. And so even he who thinks he's so righteous, and then he has these weird commercials and things that he tries to sell after the end of his videos, like blue blockers and all these weird supplements, and it's like, dude, it's like you took what you were doing and made it almost illegitimate. Like you just kind of like ruined your statement because you're now trying to push some new fad that you're trying to sell. And then you got this country guy who came out with this song called "You Can't Do That in a Small Town" or something like that, and everyone's all upset about it, and and it's like and then you get all the people that think it's a great song, but here's the problem with that song. I think it's great that he actually spoke up and made this song, but the sad thing is there's nothing behind it. Yeah, that guy, I mean, what's his name? Yeah, so I just looked it up. Jason Aldean, right? Try that in a small town. You know, it's a song that I want to like. But the problem with it is I don't believe it would make a difference if it was in a small town. Yeah, I don't think it'd make a difference. I think if he was told to put on a mask, he'd put on a mask. If he was told to stay 6 feet away from somebody, he'd stay 6 foot away from somebody. If he was told he couldn't attend church, he wouldn't attend church. Because what happened during the colddemic? Everyone got in lockstep. Everyone shut everything down. Everyone allowed the government to lock us down. We didn't fight back. Yeah, some of these small, dinky states, yeah, you know, maybe they got away with some of it. But the problem is there's small towns in every state, right? In almost every single state, in every single town in those states, you were wearing a mask and you were standing 6 feet apart. So this idea that you can't try that in a small town, well, I want to see it. Let's see it. I want some of these blims, you know, some of these monkeys, to go to a small town and act like monkeys and riot in the streets and rob Walmarts. Oh, that's right. There's no Walmarts in small towns. Oh, and the thing is, if I was living in a small town, why in the world would I defend a big corporation? A big corporation that actually wants to uphold and allow the Blmdemic to get bigger. And then they're all upset because the police won't help stop the criminals. Well, you're the guys that supported the Blmdemic. So that's the thing. Maybe it wouldn't happen in a small town. Or maybe something would be different in a small town. Because I'll tell you right now, if I lived in a small town and there was a mom and pa shop down the road and you were to show up and act like the monkeys do in Walmart, I'd be in jail right now. Yeah, I'd be in jail right now. Because I would defend that ma and pa shop as if it was my own. And this country is on the brink of civil war because of the fact that our government isn't paying attention to what the shit that they're doing to us by not protecting our borders and protecting our culture and protecting what is America. Okay? Allowing free speech to be destroyed. They're the ones up there destroying the Constitution. The Constitution they're supposed to be defending. Okay? They are all traitors. If you're a Republican, you're a traitor. If you're a Democrat, you're a traitor. Yes, because you are supporting a party that does not support the Constitution. And they lie all the time and act like they are, but in reality they aren't. And they're what is destroying the ability of this country to prosper anymore. Because it doesn't have any justice. It doesn't have any discipline for those that do wrong. Okay? And it's upholding those that don't do right. And what happens is you cannot have a free society when you don't have any justice and discipline involved. Okay? And that's what the government's doing. That is the atrocious crime that it is doing, is that it's taking the power out of the hands of the people. And they aren't doing anything about the crime that they're creating after they take the powers out of the people. So, therefore, they are the ones that are creating this issue. Because in a small town, if you don't have a Walmart, you don't have a Costco, it's very likely that people will rise up because you're attacking their neighbor who lives down the street that owns the store. Okay? And I saw some headline about NBC's somebody saying that this sounds like blood money or blood words. He's talking about it's bloodthirsty music. It is bloodthirsty music. Because we're tired of this shit. And I'd like to see this try to happen in a small town. Yeah. I'd like to see this try to happen. Because somewhere, someplace in this country, a spark is going to happen. And everyone who's been patient, sitting on their hands during this Blmdemic, are going to be sick and tired of it. And we're going to push back. Yeah, I mean, I quit my job a few years back when that rioting went on in Seattle because I couldn't stand working for a company that supported that stuff. And if you're still going to companies and spending money at companies that support Blm, okay, bad lives matter. Because that's what Blm is. It's about making bad lives matter too much. Bad lives do not matter more than good lives. If you're a good person and goes out and works hard and tries to support your family, It doesn't matter if you're handicapped or not. If you're doing something to provide a service to somebody else and you're trying to make life better for somebody else, then you're a good person. If you're someone that just wants to take from somebody else and not put back, and not provide anything back to society, then you're a bad person. And you don't matter. Okay? So when I say Blmdemic and when I say BLM, I'm talking about bad lives, because that's what's happened. We've taken bad lives, put them on pedestals, and now look at it. It's run amok. And it's time for it to stop. We need a vaccine that destroys Blmdemic.